And good afternoon, everyone. This is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor. My name is Jim, and this is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. This is a directed network, and I am net control. If at any time during this net should any emergency arise, please notify net control, and we'll stand by and allow those in need to access this frequency. Is there any priority or emergency traffic at this time?
Traffic at this time.
And hearing nothing, we will continue. This net is all about ham radio and being all that you can be. That's what our Qso-Vlog network is all about, trying to help people achieve the best sounding station possible. Thanks for dropping by. FYI, my background is 50 years in commercial broadcasting, where a lot of big bucks are spent on audio processing equipment and getting it set up correctly to get the best sounding station possible. Well, long story short, when I became a ham radio operator, I could hear immediately a large discrepancy in on-air technical proficiency. A lot of stations were running with very poor mic equalization, very muddy, with little articulation. And as I continued to work stations, I realized most of the stations were also running very low average peak modulation, many around 30% of average peak modulation. So with my background, I felt I could help, or at least try. I knew that most modern-day ham transceivers did have enough onboard processing equipment to be able to overcome most all of the problems. So it would just be a matter of developing a generic dynamic range setup procedure and then adjusting the onboard EQ gear. And so I started the Qso-Vlog network with the phrase, "If you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout." And today we're currently featuring over 3,000 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings. And you can access these recordings by going to YouTube and doing a call letter search for KC9VKV followed by the word logbook. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor followed by the word logbook. And we also have a newer series called KC9VKV Highlights. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor followed by the word highlights on a YouTube search. These are some of our less technical and more human nature philosophical kinds of QSOs. That's KC9VKV followed by the word highlights on a YouTube search. Both KC9VKV Logbook and KC9VKV Highlights are segments of our main YouTube homepage of Jim's Radio Story, where we celebrate a 50-year career in commercial broadcasting, a 50-year journey from a 5-watt pirate radio station as a 12-year-old to production director of a major 50,000-watt AM broadcast facility. And the thing that makes this truly a unique story is that I have all the actual masters from all along the way. Over 2,600 shows, including many full-length major music concerts and radio documentaries. You'll have to check it out and subscribe. Jim's Radio Story on a YouTube search. Our mission statement for the Qso-Vlog network is to establish a higher technical level of radio transmissions of the human voice by the intelligent utilization of available electronics and current amateur radio transceivers. Our setup, while generic in nature, converts the average 10 dB dynamic range transmitter with an average 30% of peak modulation to a much fuller 3 dB dynamic range with an average 80 to 85% of peak modulation. This substantial boost in audio transmit level is extremely beneficial in high noise levels and heavy QRM. It allows you to punch through when others fail. The second part of our transmitter setup has to do with proper mic equalization. We're looking to optimize the transmitted voice for a higher degree of intelligibility through the use of EQ patterns that bring out the articulation aspects of the human voice. Again, why need to hear the voice if you can't understand the words? Also this afternoon on the receive side, we're running 5 Internet SDR receivers, monitoring New York, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Virginia specifically. And in addition, we're running our new number 5 Hocus Pocus Internet SDR receiver, loaded with 50 additional pre-programmed Internet SDR locations spread out over 20 states across the eastern half of the United States, trying to get the best copy from our 100-watt friends. Now, the audio from these 5 SDR receivers comes up on a 6-position rotary selector. Also on this selector is our local receiver audio. And today, our local receiver is running 3 large 10-foot vertical magnetic loop antennas, one aimed at 0 degrees, one aimed at 90 degrees, and the number 3 is aimed at 134 degrees. These are run as a directional scanner array with a manual voting system 6-position rotary selector. Also today on the transmit side, we'll be running our NOSWR specially oriented resonant tuned dipole antenna. One leg of this resonant tuned dipole antenna runs broadside to Montreal, Canada. The other leg runs broadside to Miami, Florida. As we were constructing our station, our mantra was 20 over from Montreal to Miami with a hotspot through the Carolinas. And although conditions may vary, the general performance of this antenna supports its mission. Also today we'll be running our input source indicator. So when we switch from an Internet SDR receiver to our local receiver, you'll be able to hear the switch and see the switch. You'll have to check it out on our YouTube Qso-Vlog video. And as we come together for another Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network, let us pause just a moment for the amateur radio operator's prayer. Lord, we pray for clear 20 over S9 communications today. Let all our transmissions fill the air and reach their destinations QSA5 to be understood by all. And as we pray for good radio conditions, let us also pray for good human conditions. During this time of pandemic that has challenged us all, we pray that you'll protect everyone, especially our elderly. And also, Lord, we seek your divine intervention to bring peace to a very divided United States. As we go through a very conflicting time in America's history, with dark clouds all around, we pray that you'll reduce life's daily political QRM between our brothers and sisters. And through your love and guidance, show us the way to find peace and harmony. Help us to communicate with one another 20 over S9. Thank you, Lord, and God bless and protect America. Amen. To continue, since this part of the band has many nets trying to operate in a very confined area, I would appreciate all stations checking into our Qso-Vlog net to keep their band pass to no wider than 100 to 2900. And again, please, no wider than 100 to 2900. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. And all that being said, let's open it up and see who's out there. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
You want to check out, give me a shout.
Kilowatt Foxtrot 3 Delta Juliet.
Kilowatt station, KW station, come back slowly phonetically with your call sign.
KW station, come back slowly phonetically with your call sign.
Kilowatt Foxtrot 3 Delta Juliet.
Roger, Roger, Delta Juliet. What's the name there?
Roger, Roger, Delta Juliet. What's the name there?
Name here is Ron Romeo Oscar November. Just trying out an old battle wagon here. It's an ICOM IC725. How you copy here this afternoon?
Well, that depends on where you are. Where are you, Ron?
Well, that depends on where you are. Where are you, Ron?
I'm in northwestern Pennsylvania, 30 miles southeast of Erie.
Roger, Roger. I've got a copy on you on the my PA SDR, and it looks to be about 8 over at the moment. Tell you what, if you would, let's see, let me check that receiver, that transmitter again. That was a 725, ICOM 725, is that it, Roger?
Receiver, that transmitter again. That was a 720, ICOM 725, is that it, Roger?
Roger, Roger. There's no way to set width or anything like that.
Roger, Roger. What I was going to do is let you give me about 10 seconds worth of information about your antenna, and I'll look around and see if I can find a better copy for us, or a better path.
I'll look around and see if I can copy for us, a better path.
Okay, this is Kilowatt 3 Delta. My antenna is facing east and west, and the antenna is approximately 20 feet in the air. And the rig is, well, what it is, running an SM6.
That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Back to you.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hello, test 1, 2.
Frequency is in use. Frequency is in use. Ron, I'm copying you at about, looks about 20 over on the Milford PA SDR. Roger, roger.
Roger, roger. How's the audio? Is it too thin?
It sounds pretty good. Sounds pretty good. Why don't you tell me about the best thing you like about your radio?
Sounds pretty good. Why don't you tell me about the best thing you like about your radio?
Okay, well, bought it used. I've got an IC735 that needs to go to the shop, and I have an IC729 that you and I have checked out in the past. And I just basically wanted to, if you're going to be putting this up on the internet, I wanted to hear what it sounded like. Over.
Yes, sir. Sounds pretty good. You could crank in a couple of clicks additional treble EQ, just to add to the articulation just a little bit. Your basic curve is very good, though, and your dynamic range seems to be about 3 dB, which means your average percent of peak modulation is 80 to 85%. So, you get the duct tape out and taper down.
Out and taper down.
Okay, I'll do it. 73, and always good to talk to you, and always good to hear that prayer on Friday afternoon. 73, and good luck.
Thank you, Ron. 73 up that way. You have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend, and to listen to this recording, you go to YouTube, do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, and that will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 3,000 recordings, but this one will come up number 1 as you do that search on YouTube for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. Thank you, sir, and you have a good afternoon. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
This is Kilo Delta 8 Yankee November Lima. Over.
YNL, Roger, roger. What's the name there?
YNL, Roger, roger. What's the name there?
Okay, I tell you what, YNL, why don't you give me about 10 seconds and tell me about your antenna system, and let me look around and see if I can find a better path for us. Roger, roger?
And let me look around and see if I can find a better path for us. Roger, roger?
Roger.
YNL, I didn't find a better path for us. Gosh, I'm running 6 internet SDRs spaced all over the southeast part of the country, so I should be able to copy you somewhere. I might give you a suggestion about maybe a better antenna, maybe like a resonant dipole antenna might be in your future, might get you out just a little bit better than your present antenna. Anyway, try again one more time, and we'll see if we can get you.
Try again one more time, and we'll see if we can get you.
Mobile truck using 120 Alpha and Yaesu 891, over.
Roger, Roger, I'm copying you now on my local antenna, about 4 dB above my noise level. Why don't you tell me where you are there, Roger?
Roger, sitting here, I hooked up an FT891 mobile to a Alpha Tango Alpha Sierra 120 Alpha antenna on my truck. Just sitting here in McDonald's and just wanted to test it, see if it worked, over.
Roger, now what state is that truck parked in?
In the Buckeye State, Ohio, southwest corner of Ohio.
Roger, Roger, Ohio, and what's the name there?
Name of town is Hamilton, over.
No, I meant your name. What's your name?
My name's Don, Don, Delta, Oscar, November, over.
Roger, Don. Well, that truck's putt-putting along there. I've got a pretty good signal on my local antenna. It looks to be about 5 dB over my local noise level. Roger, Roger.
Roger, outstanding. You're coming in here loud and clear. Where are you located, over?
We're down around Louisville, Kentucky. We're on the Indiana side of the Ohio River, right at Louisville, Kentucky. Roger.
Roger. That's a pretty good distance for this mobile truck, over.
Yes, sir. I've got somebody, some blow-by from sideband somewhere, about almost equal with your signal, or maybe a little bit over your signal. I don't understand it, but there you go. You know, you gotta watch the blow-by for sure. Anyway, I do have a copy now on that truck, and like I say, it does sound pretty good. I don't hear it good enough to offer any suggestions as far as equalization curve, but you are pounding on through. That's the main thing, Roger.
Roger that. Well, thanks for the QSL. Appreciate it. And you have a great day down there. And I hope the weather stays good for you, over.
Roger, Roger, Don was 73 there, and if you want to hear your truck, if you go to YouTube and do a call in a search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, that will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 3,000 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow, Roger.
Roger that. What was the call again, over?
Roger, the call is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook. Roger, Roger.
Roger. Thank you. All right, well, I got to jump off here. I got to get back to picking up the grandson. I just stopped at McDonald's real quick and wanted to test this thing. I've been working on it all morning. Thank you very much, over.
Roger, Roger, Don, 73 there, and you have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. If you get a chance, join us next Friday. We'd love to have you. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog Net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Check out. Give me a shout.
Whiskey 8 station, come back slowly, phonetically with your call sign.
Station, come back slowly, phonetically with your call sign. Yeah. Whiskey 8. Lima. Whiskey. SW8LLW. The name is Tango India Mike. Located in Michigan. Operating an ICOM 7300. Go ahead.
Roger, Roger, Jim. Well, you are operating one of the greatest radios in the world. Actually, come to think of it, I mean that's what you're listening to right now is a 7300. Roger, Roger.
You're listening to right now is a 7300. Roger, Roger. Oh yeah, copy that. You're working the 7300 also. Very good. Yeah, we've had quite a few different models on the desk here, but I don't know why, but we chose the 7300 to play with for a while. But we've talked before, and I'm a 10-year-old old man, and I knew where to come to get the audio right. Over.
Yes, sir. Are you familiar with that radio as far as EQ and compression and everything?
Like EQ and compression and everything? Yeah, go ahead on any advice you have there, over.
Roger, roger. Well, I'm assuming that radio is operating in that wide transmit bandwidth, TVW wide, 100 to 2900. You might, if not, be familiar with that. If you are, great, and we want it in that 100 to 2900 bandwidth. But if you're not familiar with it, take a look in your book and bring it up to that. Because what happens is, if you're running obviously in a lesser mode, you're starting to roll off the top end of your audio if you work in lesser modes than the 100 to 2900, and we want every bit of articulation that we can get for clarity and enunciation. So we do recommend that 100 to 2900. After that, then we go to the compressor. We want compression on at a 3. Compression on at a 3 on that 7300, Roger.
Compression on at a 3 on that 7300, Roger. Okay, affirmative. We've got the single sideband wide, 100 to 2900. We didn't have compression, but now we are at 3 for compression. I wonder if you noticed anything different there.
Oh, we're coming along. Now go to your ALC with mic gain in hand, and as you say the word audio, adjust your mic gain until your ALC is running 2/3. So say the word audio, don't stress it, just say it like you would say any other word in a QSO, and adjust your mic gain until your ALC is running 2/3, Roger.
Until your ALC is running 2/3, Roger. Audio. Well, I'll tell you, we've hit the 50 mark, and that mic gain is all the way to the top at a 10 there, over.
Is that right? Well, gosh, sounds good. Let's move on to your equalizers then. And we want to add a couple of clicks of top-end EQ, a couple of ends of boost your treble by 2 clicks from where you are. 2-click boost of your treble control from where you are.
2-click boost of your treble control from where you are. I believe that is under the set button, is that right?
Yeah, you should have treble and bass controls. There are only 2 controls for EQ on that 7300.
Controls for EQ on that 7300. Okay, there. I'm on the right menu now. If you could repeat where you'd like to hear me there, I'll set it as such. Go ahead.
Roger, sounds pretty good. Maybe why don't you drop off 1 click on your bass, minus 1 click from where you are on your bass line.
Minus 1 click from where you are on your bass line. Okay, the bass was at 0.
Treble is at a +3, so we need to adjust any of that. That's where we are right now there. Go ahead.
Adjust any of that. That's where we are right now there. Go ahead, Jim.
Roger. I just went over to my local 7300, and you are pretty heavy on the bottom end. Why don't you roll off 1 more click of bass, minus 1 more click of bass from where you are. Just 1 more.
Minus 1 more click of bass from where you are. Just 1 more. Okay, we'll try that at a -2 on the bass.
Alrighty, now, gotcha. Jim, why don't you tell me about your antenna system one more time?
Why don't you tell me about your antenna system one more time? Okay, I'll tell you.
It's an optic in the northern direction, and that had to go
in the northern direction, and that had to go at a 45-degree angle to get the SWR curve down on all the bands. It's a multi-bander, and the long end of that off-center bed is in the southerly direction. I have one concern: is why do I need a mic gain of all the way to the top there, over.
I'm not really sure. I was wondering about that. Why don't you go back to your ALC and again use that word audio. Don't worry about the back half of that word. It's mainly the part of audio, and we were looking for 2/3 on your ALC meter. And reset your level, and let's see where you wind up. Reset your level, and let's see where you wind up.
Yeah, Roger on that. Audio. Well, that tops out on the, it doesn't really have a doggone, does it have the 25, 50, 100% on it? Is that what that is?
No, it's just, you want to be on the right side of middle. In other words, we want 2/3 of deflection on your ALC meter, or just to the right of halfway from no gosh, 2/3 on your ALC meter. You've got halfway, so you want to be just to the right of halfway, Roger. Halfway, so you want to be just to the right of halfway, Roger.
Audio. Okay, I wish I could do it, but it's just standing right there at the end of the red line. Maybe this has something to do with it, I don't know, but this is a Heil mic, ICM Heil mic. Maybe that matters, I don't know. Go ahead.
Roger, well, I'm looking at your audio, and it looks to be about 2/3, about 3 dB audio wide. I'm not saying wide, but I'm saying as far as the level is concerned. So your audio level is looking good there. So I would just leave it. Maybe come back to 90. Let's see what that sounds like. Back to 90. Let's see what that sounds like.
Okay, yeah, Roger that. We come back to 9 on it. Yeah, it hasn't fallen much, just a wee bit. It's just fallen from where it was previous, but that is a peculiar thing. You'd think if I was at 10, it'd be blasting clear over to 100%, but I guess that doesn't always happen, eh?
Roger, well, you got that the compressor in there. That's why I use the compressor. It's only in there at a token amount, a 3, but it does help to absorb some upper range blow-by as far as hotter levels, and so that's that's doing its job. It's just one of those things. How far are you off mic there? How far away from the mic are you? Mic there. How far away from the mic are you?
Yeah, about 4 fingers. 4 fingers from the mic.
Yeah, that sounds good. But the whole thing is the setup is correct as far as the set level is 2/3 on the ALC, and as long as you're doing that and you're not going into the red, and that's a good thing. Make sure that you know where the ALC lines are. Because that ALC meter, I don't think runs the full scale left to right of the one above it. So you might, observe where the max ALC line is, and then be to the left of that and to the right of mid scale. Roger. Left of that and to the right of mid scale. Roger.
Yeah. Okay. Copy that. Yeah, I don't know. It seems to peg itself right there in that same area, which is right before going over the halfway mark there. So, but it doesn't sound hot to your ears.
No, sir. No distortion at all. Just clean as a whistle. And like I say, it does look like it's about 3 dB dynamic range, which is exactly what we're looking for. Roger. Range, which is exactly what we're looking for. Roger.
Okay, very good. I can see that there has been a change in both the mic gain and the compression, so I appreciate that. I so much admire people with good hearing. Oh my goodness. I what the world sounds like with good ears, but hey, I appreciate you being there, Jim. And you turn me loose whenever you like. This is Whiskey 8, Lima Lima Whiskey.
Roger, Roger, Lima Lima Whiskey. Oh, and whereabouts are you, sir?
Roger, Roger, Lima Lima Whiskey. Oh, and whereabouts are you, sir? Yeah, we're located in the state of Michigan. We're about halfway up from the Ohio State. Little town called Reed City, Michigan.
Roger, Roger. Well, you sounded pretty good down in Virginia and Georgia and up in Pennsylvania and in my local antenna. You sounded pretty good, Roger.
In my local antenna, you sounded pretty good, Roger. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate it. I think that's exactly where I started. On the first contact, exactly where I started. On the first contact I ever made was on a wire on a barefoot, 100 watts in a wire, eh?
Roger, Roger. And you're running 100 watts now, Roger, Roger.
Roger, Roger. And you're running 100 watts now, Roger, Roger. That is affirmative.
Sounding good there, Jim. Just get the Gorilla Tape out and taper down, Roger.
Jim, just get the Gorilla Tape out and taper down, Roger. Yeah, please repeat that last transmission.
I said get the Gorilla Tape out and taper down. That's exactly all the adjustments are where they should be, Roger, Roger.
All the adjustments are where they should be, Roger, Roger. Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, I hear you. And that stuff, it will hold, won't it? All right, hey, thank you so much. I certainly do appreciate it. And I wish you and your family and all your neighbors the best. Kilowatt Charlie 9, Victor, Kilowatt Victor, this is Whiskey 8, Lima Lima Whiskey 73, Jim.
Roger, Roger, Jim, and if you want to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube and do the call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, that will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 3,000, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. So 73, Jim. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout. Kilo Delta 8 Uniform Lima Romeo, over.
Uniform Lima Romeo, Roger, Roger, and what's the name there?
Uniform Lima Romeo, Roger, Roger, and what's the name there? Vince, Victor, India, November, Charlie Echo, Vince, Northwest Ohio.
Roger, Roger, Vince in Ohio, and what's the radio you're running?
Roger, Roger, Vince in Ohio, and what's the radio you're running? I have a Kenwood 570S, 100 watts, and I have a Ecom 2 antenna about 12 feet up. Over.
Okay, so Vince, are you running that a hand mic, Roger, Roger?
Vince, are you running that a hand mic, Roger, Roger? It's a Kenwood MC60 desk mic.
Okay, so what I would suggest is, number 1, do you happen to have a foam windscreen around your shack?
Have a foam windscreen around your shack? A what? Over?
A foam windscreen? You know, it just goes over your microphone. Foam windscreen, Roger?
You know, it just goes over your microphone. Foam windscreen, Roger? No, it's a metal, like a little metal one, over.
Okay, so what I would suggest then would be to back off that mic a little bit because you were getting quite a bit of transitory stuff into your audio, Roger, Roger?
Into your audio, Roger, Roger? Oh, okay. How's that? It ain't better, about like 6 inches away now.
Yes, sir, I think that's better. Try maybe 1 more inch, about 7 inches, and let me hear what that sounds like.
1 more inch, about 7 inches, and let me hear what that sounds like. Okay, over. over. This is about 7 inches, and there's an adjustment on the side of this. It's 5K or 500. I'm not sure where to put that.
Roger. Okay, let's do something. Let's start from scratch. Is that an older radio, Roger?
Scratch. Is that an older radio, Roger? Yeah, it's probably from the early 2000s. Kenwood DS570. Yeah, it's an older one.
Okay, I would. I know you don't have the ability probably to change your bandwidth, your transmit bandwidth, TBW. You are what it is, but I would back off on the compression. What we suggest is a 3 out of 10. Or a 30 out of 100, depending on, if your compression adjustment is 0 to 10, we want it on a 3. If it's 0 to 100, we want it on a 30. Roger?
0 to 100, we want it on 30. Roger? Okay, yeah, I follow that. I'll have to look at my manual to see how that goes, but it does have a meter on here. My compression was like halfway on the meter here.
Yeah, you could have a noisy something on your microphone, or just an extremely fast recovery time. I tell you what, just can you take that compressor out fairly easly? Can you dump that compressor for a minute?
Out fairly easily? Can you dump that compressor for a minute? I could. I'm going to have to look at my instruction book. I haven't messed with that really too much. Over.
Roger. Well, when you come in, your noise level is the same as your voice level later on. So in other words, your compressor is fully expanded when you key down initially, which is and then it falls down as you start to speak. So what I want to do is why don't you take notes? That's probably the best thing to do. Take notes. We want that compressor, again, like I said, to be a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100. And when you figure out where that is and how to do it, you can do it at your leisure. But just take notes on that, Roger?
You can do it at your leisure, but just take notes on that, Roger? Yeah, I sure will. Is that any better? I put that switch on my microphone. Is that any better?
I'm thinking you might have some scratchiness in your mic, because I heard some right at the end of that between two words, and I can't believe that the recovery of that compressor would be that fast to suck up that noise. So I think that noise might be in your microphone. It could be that you need to use some antenna cleaner thereabouts to put in on the switch part of that desk mic. So if that usually is where the noise is on those mics. It's in the audio key part. It gets scratchy, but it's so hard to figure out which one that is. It's just better to just turn the mic, come up from the underside of that microphone with your tuner cleaner and just spray those contacts. And if there's any runoff, it just runs off below the mic as opposed to back into the mic. Roger?
Off below the mic as opposed to back into the mic. Roger? Okay, yeah, I'll try that. It could be, this is an old setup and I had it out here in my garage. I have some deox. Would that work?
What was that? You had well, I tell you now, I probably catch a lot of what for it, but I use WD-40 myself. I've used WD-40 all my life. I've got many mixer boards that I have pots on that they're sealed pots, and I've had to drill them and then lubricate them with WD-40, and it works just like a champ. But I know everybody else wants to use tuner cleaner, but the thing is, tuner cleaner only cleans it. It doesn't really lubricate it. And the thing you want to do with switches and pots, particularly like carbon pots, you want to not only clean them, but lubricate them. And that's what WD-40 does. Now, here comes the mail.
WD-40 does. Now, here comes the mail.
Okay, yeah, I have some of that. I'll definitely try that. And I listened to your broadcast or your thing here a couple of weeks now. I wrote down some tips there, and I wrote down some info here. So I'll definitely try that. Over.
Yes, sir. Now keep your mic up high and squirt from the bottom so the runoff runs out of the mic as opposed to into the mic, if you know what I mean. Hold it above your head or whatever you have to do and spray those contacts from the bottom and let that runoff run off the mic as opposed to back up into it. Roger?
Runoff off the mic as opposed to back up into it. Roger?
Okay, yeah, I'll definitely do that, and that should help clean all that. Like I said, it's a fairly old unit, and it's been out here in my garage, so maybe that was a factor also.
Yeah, and I think that's most of your problem that I hear right now is just that noise. I mean, it could be RF and the AF, but it sounds more just like a dirty switch contact in the microphone. So I would spray it and see if that took care of the problem. Roger?
So I would spray it and see if that took care of the problem. Roger?
Okay, I'll definitely do that. Now, I use a different switch this time. Is that any different?
Still got it in there, for sure, Roger. And you can see it probably you could see it if you just keyed down, didn't say anything, and look at your watt meter. Your watt meter will start to really come up where it should be just silent, Roger.
To really come up where it should be just silent, Roger.
Okay, yeah, I'll look at that here. So just key down and it comes up without it shouldn't move at all.
Yes, sir. And it's almost at zero level, just loud as you are, until you start to speak, and then it's driven down by your voice, which makes me wonder what your compression level is, because like I said, we want that at a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100. But once you get past that and move to your ALC with mic gain in hand, and as you say the word audio, adjust your mic gain until your ALC is running 2/3. Roger.
C is running 2/3. Roger.
Okay, yeah, I'll try that. I heard that you mentioned that before on that. I'll have to look at my manual and double check all that. But yeah, that's really good. I'll check that out. Over.
Yes, sir. And I think once you do that, I think you'll be in fine shape. Probably after you spray it, I think that'll get those contacts real quiet. And when you key it, don't say anything, look at your output meter, and it should be down there at, just barely off the line. It should not be up high at all. Particularly if you've got that compressor down there around a 3 or so. So that's what I'd do. If you want to hear your recording as it stands, if you go to YouTube, do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, and that will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 3,000, and I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow.
3,000, and I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow.
Okay, very good. I really appreciate the info, and I wrote all that down, and I'll see what I can do about cleaning the mic up. Over. This is KD8ULR.
Yes, sir. Let me say 73 to you, sir. And you have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. If you get a chance, join me next Friday and let me hear the revised you after you perform some of the surgery that I suggested. 73, sir. And like I say, we're going to wrap up early this afternoon, and we're going to be out of here at 4:30 instead of 5. So if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
So if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Whiskey 4 Bravo Kilo X-ray.
Lima, Quebec.
Whiskey 4 station, come back slowly, phonetically with your call sign.
Whiskey Whiskey 4 station, come back slowly, phonetically with your call sign.
That would be Whiskey 4, Bravo, Kilo, X-ray. Handle here is Robert.
Roger, Robert, and whereabouts are you located, sir?
Roger, Robert, and whereabouts are you located, sir?
I'm located right between Chattanooga and Knoxville, right here in the state of Tennessee.
Roger, Roger, and what radio are you running?
Roger, Roger, and what radio are you running?
I'm utilizing the 991 Alpha. I've got a Heil headset, Pro 7, running into an amplifier, Meritron 811, and just putting out about 350 watts right now.
Okay, and that 991A, that's like a newer radio, Roger?
991A, is that like a newer radio, Roger?
This one's new. This is my second unit. I've got one for POTA, and I put this one on the air. This is the first time on the air here as I'm speaking to you.
Oh, Roger, well, congratulations. And does it have an adjustable transmit bandwidth, the TBW? We want to be in that 100 to 2900 or the best bandwidth possible, you know, as long as it doesn't go over 2900. 100 to 2900 is the preferred transmit bandwidth, Roger?
2900 is the preferred transmit bandwidth, Roger?
I assume that would be in the single sideband portion of the menu. I'm going there now, and I'll check the bandwidth as I get to it there, W4BKX.
Right, be transmit sideband, and should be right in that area there, I think.
Band, and should be right in that area there, I think.
Got the low cut slope and high cut frequency, high cut slope. Not real familiar with the radio yet, but working on this again. Don't know much a whole about the radio, so I'll have to take a look and maybe try to figure that one out.
Yeah, just take a note on that. We want it in that 100 to 2900 because we want the transmitter to perform at its maximum. And what it does, 100 to 2900, gives you just a slice of daylight before you're into somebody else's living room, you know. 100 to 2900 gives you just a little bit of edge not to you wind up in somebody else's conversation. So that's the good thing about it. Now, what happens on the other side, if you're below that, you start to roll off your top end. You're rolling off the bottom end too, but you're rolling off the top end, and there goes the neighborhood as far as articulation. Articulation is mostly upper end, top end audio frequencies. I call them the S range, and we want to be just all that we can be right in there for intelligibility. So 100 to 2900 on the transmit bandwidth, and then compressor on at about a 3. Out of 10 or 30 out of 100, depending on how that's labeled. And I'm assuming you would be taking notes on this. 3 out of 10 if you're 0 to 10, 30 out of 100 if you're 0 to 100 on your compressor input, Roger?
100 on your compressor input, Roger?
I am writing as you speak. I've been listening in on you. I've had a few notes you've been dishing out, and I appreciate all your time and effort here for sure.
Yes, sir. And then once you get that, move into your ALC with mic gain in hand. And as you say the word audio, adjust your mic gain until your ALC is running 2/3 or 7. I'm not really sure about that, but somewhere either 7 or 2/3 to the right of middle anyway. And that will be at the best place for you to be that. and you can just say the word audio. You don't have to worry about the back half of that word. The main part is audio. And I spent, like months trying to find the right word to say, just to set your modulation level. And it turns out the word is audio. Audio. The first part of that, the and if you look at on a spectrum analyzer, it's just wall-to-wall signals. So it does cover a big signal strength area. I mean, as far as a frequency meter, and so that's why I chose that word, Roger.
And so that's why I chose that word, Roger.
Okay, Roger. All right. You want me to go ahead and start with the audio?
Sure, yeah, just say it. Don't stress it real much. Just say it just like you would say any other word in a QSO, Roger.
Just say it just like you would say any other word in a QSO, Roger.
Audio, 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 audio. And I'm watching the meter as we're going through the word audio, and I'm peaking at about 5 out of a scale of 1 to 9 on the meter.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And you can just say audio. That's don't worry about the back half. The back half of the word is not good. The first half, audio. It's tough to do that, but is the best part. But don't stress it like I just did. Just say like you would in a normal QSO.
Like I just did. Just say like you would in a normal QSO.
Roger that. Audio. 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 Audio.
All right, and then if you would, why don't you tell me about your antenna system and let me listen to you and see what that sounds like.
And let me listen to you and see what that sounds like.
We might have doubled just a little bit there. What I want you to do is just tell me about the best thing you like about your radio for about 15 seconds, and let me listen to you.
Your radio for about 15 seconds, and let me listen to you.
Okay, I'm stepping on you. As I've come accustomed to the Yaesu product, and very, very easy for me to get where I need to. Never really dealt with the audio side of it, like just ran across you talking about doing this for purposes of helping folks with their audio. So I thought I'd just jump in there because I've never done this before with the radio. I've never really had bad reports, so don't know if there's improvements to be made. I'm hopeful there is, always hopeful that I want to have a nice clean signal. And but really love the radio. It's done me well. I've had others, and I'm just very happy with it. It's a great shack in the box. So everything I want to do on ham radio, this box does for me. I love all the features. So that's what I got to say about my radio, W4BKX.
Roger, BKX, and that the name there is Robert. Roger?
Yes, sir. That is correct.
Okay, I'm copying the mail now on my 7300, and all filters are off, and it is what it is. It's just a beautiful signal. You could use just a little more top end. I would suggest maybe 3 clicks more treble, 3 to 4 clicks more treble than where you are. But everything else sounds just beautiful now that I'm listening on the 7300. Roger.
I like that. Fine business. Fine business. I attribute that to absolutely this Heil microphone. I'm very pleased with that as well. The headset, the Pro 7 headset. I've gotten quite a few good reports, so I attribute that to being the reason I've got the audio.
Yes, sir. Well, I have a spectrum analyzer on the set, and the receiver's all audio is going through into the spectrum analyzer. So if you want to see your curve, if you go to YouTube, do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, that will take you to this recording, be cut number 1 in that series of 3000, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow, and you can look at that spectrum analyzer. And let me just tell you about that. There's a mark way to the left-hand side of the spectrum analyzer, and that's 100 cycles. And then moving out to the right side, the first mark to the right side, it's a white mark, first mark to the right side is 1 kc, then there's a blank space, which is 2 kc, and then there's another white mark, and that's 4 kc, so you can see your curve pretty good there, Roger.
Oh, fine business. I really appreciate you going through all that for me there. That's great. I'll definitely take a look at the video, and I sure appreciate your time, sir.
Roger, Robert. Well, gosh, let me say 73 to you, sir. And you have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. And if you get a chance, join us next Friday after you crank in all that stuff. We'll see what it sounds like. Should sound great. And with that being said, we have got to get out of here. We're rolling out early today. Usually we go to 5 o'clock, but we have a couple of appointments that we have to keep this afternoon, so we need to get out of here now. So we'll say 3s to everybody. And if you participated in today's show and want to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, that will take you to that recording, be cut number 1 in a series of 3000. I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. And that being said, we got to get out of here, and we return this frequency back to normal amateur radio use. This is KC9VKV Clear.